Hi and welcome to the Learning iOS Development with Azam Sharp or Mohammad Azam. And in this particular screencast, what we're going to learn is the Objective-C language. Okay, so let's get started. So we are in our the .h file is basically the header file, as I've mentioned before. The .m file is the implementation file. The XIB file or a zip file is basically the interface file. So you can draw your interface. You can drag multiple items from the toolbox over here on the right hand side. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some programming. The first thing that you need to learn is how to declare the fields. Okay, fields of a class. So let's declare a string. Okay, here we go. So NS string, so usually if you're coming from a C# background or a Java background, the string type should be represented by a string. Okay, but over here in Objective-C language, everything, well, basically most of the things or everything basically prefixed with NS, which is next step, which was the company Steve Jobs formed after he left Apple long time ago. All right, the static over here, the star, it means that this is a reference type and it is not basically a value type like integer. It's not an integer, it's not double or float or something like that. It is a reference type. Okay, and it is always a good idea to expose your the field that you just declared in the form of the property so other classes can actually use it. And there are multiple things or multiple ways of declaring the properties. Like there are different kind of keywords that you can use. Let me actually declare that and I'll explain. Here we go, and a string, and you will use the same name, which is name. So when you're declaring property, you start with the @ sign and then the property. Non-atomic actually means over here that it will be much faster than atomic, so it won't be affected by it will be actually affected by the threading if you are accessing it on multiple threads. Okay, so it won't be locked. And retain means that I want to retain this property in memory, and of course the NS string is just a type, and static means that once again it is a reference type and not a integer or value type. All right, so even though you have declared a property, you see this I sign or kind of like a indication over here, a warning, and if I click on it, it says that hey, you have actually declared the property. That's cool, but there are no getters and setters. So if I want to access this property, which is a name property, from the outside world, like from a different class, then I cannot, because there are no getters and setters. So let's actually go ahead and declare the getters and setters. Declaring getters and setters in Objective-C is pretty simple actually. You just use the synthesize keyword and it will declare the getters and setters for you. And you say name. Now in this case you will not use the static sign, and now synthesize will actually create a getter and setter for you. Okay, let's actually do one other thing. Now self over here means the class that we are inside right now. Okay, so self right now, in which class we are in? We are in Hello World View Controller. So whenever we say self, it will return us the instance of the Hello World View Controller, or the current instance that we are actually working on. Super means the parent class, so base class and C# I think, and I'm not sure about Java what they do it over there. Okay, let's actually go to the app delegate file where we have declared it, and let me actually declare this thing whole once again. All right, so in order to declare a variable or a class instance, what you do is since this is a reference type, a class is always a reference type, you declare it with a static sign like over here, and you say over here equal to Hello World View Controller, and you say alloc. Alloc means allocation of the memory, so you're allocating the memory to the reference type that you are creating. And now this is a little weird for you, right? So you're saying init, what does init means, and what are these brackets? Don't worry about the brackets, okay? So let me see. If you want to declare this class in maybe C# or some other language, I'm pretty sure you're going to do something like this, right? New hello world view controller or something, right? Like this, okay? So these things I have shifted a little bit, all right? Just open it in a block, and whenever you say hello world view controller, and if I press escape over here, I get all the methods and all the properties, okay? M, of course, declare with the methods, and I don't know where are some properties. I don't see any properties, but if the first thing I need to do is to allocate the memory to it. So I allocate it, and it's a good idea to just put the bracket, and when you put the bracket, it automatically adds the bracket at the first or the start, and then you say init, which means initialization, okay? So if you want to do some custom, if you want to call a custom constructor, so this is basically a constructor in the end, right? And if you want to create a custom constructor, you can just go in your header file and where it is, here we go, and you can create a custom constructor. All right, let's go back. Here we go. One other thing that you will notice is that the chaining of the method calls. First you're calling the alloc method, and then you're calling the init method. Now if you are familiar with jQuery, the JavaScript framework, that also does the same thing. So in jQuery you are going to do something like this. Well, so let's say, so it's just chaining, you don't have to worry about that much, right? So yeah, I'm just going to say, okay, display div, and see, you are actually chaining it over here, or you can say something else. I mean, I don't remember the name of the methods and all that stuff, but I don't know, if you want to say CSS, apply something over here, dot hide. So you see that the chaining reaction that you're doing is you can do the same thing in Objective-C. It's no big deal, right? What else we need to cover? Let's see. So these things will actually get you started with the Objective-C language, and you can start building the Hello World application or some other application with just these basic concepts. Okay. Hope you like this video, and stay tuned for more. And once again, I do accept PayPal donations. So if you think this video has helped you clear some concepts about Objective-C, if you are liking this Learning iOS development series, send your donations to azamsharp@gmail.com using PayPal. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.